My name is Madison Stewart. I dive with sharks for a living. Been diving with sharks since I was a kid. I grew up completely surrounded by the ocean, from living on a yacht to living on the water. I was certified to dive as soon as I was old enough, and I was in the water with sharks whenever I could be. The first encounter with a shark that I remember was my 12th birthday off the coast of New South Wales in Australia at a dive site called Julian Rocks, and it was actually the place I learnt to dive. I was in the water and saw two large grey nurse sharks coming towards me, and I was expecting to see sharks, and I had read about them and loved them and was so excited, but nothing compares to seeing them for the first time. It was truly phenomenal, yeah. People have such a vast, unjustified fear of sharks. It's furthering the gap between fear and understanding. If people bothered to know about sharks, if we learnt about them at school, the same way we learnt about rips and currents and tides, we'd probably get along with them a lot better. We'd be a lot safer in the water. I believe it's a big part of my duty and responsibility to help sharks in general, and that can't be done unless you first change that fear people have of sharks. And the Jaws generation, that fear is deep-seated in their heads. But I go to schools and I talk to kids, and they don't have that fear and judgment there just yet. They're still open to learning things. So when you teach them about sharks, they will grow up with a respect, because we're not trying to teach that they're harmless, but they'll also grow up with an understanding of the animal and that they're not these bloodthirsty, mindless killers. My favourite way of showing people that sharks maybe aren't as bad as they think is through film. Sometimes people do need to see to believe. So, I try and tell people and talk to them all the time, but they don't want to hear it. When I show them a video or footage of me next to a shark in the water, that's the way I reach people. And I discovered that at a young age. It's difficult to have a voice for something. So I found my voice through making films, and that's how I got people's attention.